Welcome to Let's Talk. Hi everyone, Judy here. Thank you for tuning in. If you don't know, I upload one video to this series each and every week. My friends, before we dive into today's topic, please allow me to thank the friends who bought me coffee from my website last week. Thank you so much for your kind support, my friends. Thank you. As you know, my friends, I've talked about many dictators in my previous videos. If you missed some of them, please check the links in the description or comment section. Yes, we are gonna talk about another dictator, the greediest dictator. So today, our lead actor is Ferdinand Marcos, who served as the president of Philippines from 1965 to 1986. Marcos was a Catholic, and as all dictators do, he portrayed himself as the chosen one. He told people that he had a divine mandate to lead the Philippines and claimed to receive visions directly from God. Marcos was a law student in the late 1930s, but he had his political dreams. So, after the Japanese occupation in the World War II, he later told people that he had been the most decorated war hero in the Philippines. However, according to U.S. government records, many of his claims have been found to be false. But with all these claims, Marcos was elected president of the Philippines in 1965. He then pursued an aggressive program of infrastructure development funded by foreign debt, making him popular during his first term. But it triggered an inflationary crisis in his second term. Now you understand when the national debt was risen by almost 7.8 trillion during Trump's time in office, the inflationary crisis was inevitable in the following years. Trump didn't win his second term. Biden became the scapegoat for the inflation. Marcos won his second term, so the Philippines knew who to blame. More and more people disliked him. Marcos then declared his infamous martial law in 1972 in order to get rid of his opponents and the people who didn't like him. In January 1973, Marcos changed the constitution. By then, media outlets were silenced, so no opposite opinions could be heard. Fortunately, eventually, Marcos and his second wife, the former beauty pageant winner, were forced to flee to America. When they arrived in Hawaii, they had 24 suitcases of gold bricks and diamond jewelry hidden in diaper bags. And when the presidential mansion was seized, it was famously discovered that his wife had over 2,700 pairs of shoes in her closet. Moreover, Marcos' family stole 5 to 10 billion US dollars from the Central Bank of the Philippines. Marcos and his second wife held the Guinness World Record for the largest ever theft from a government for decades. There you have it. the greediest dictator so far. Okay, my friends, I guess you remember that I've talked about many dictators in my previous videos, right? If you don't remember or you haven't watched them yet, please check the links in the description box. So, today, let's talk about another dictator, Fidel Castro. Yes, he ruled this country Cuba for 47 years and imprisoned thousands of dissenters and stifled civil liberties and political freedoms. You see, my friends, dictators, no matter which doctrine or religion they say they believe in, they are all the same. They don't tolerate different or opposite thoughts, ideas, or comments. So they imprison their opponents and the people who don't praise them. Castro, for one, once in power in Cuba, he brooked no opposition. And you know, all dictators, including Castro, never admit their wrongdoings or learn from obvious policy mistakes. And because of that, it turned Cuba into a relatively impoverished, illiberal, and closed society. Dictators love closed societies because closed societies make it easy for them to rule over the people. Also, dictators, especially the ones who create a cult of personality, are good at using religions or doctrines as tools to attract people. Yeah, as you know, the only doctrine I like is Candyism, which doesn't exist because Candy was my late dog, and I stopped being a Christian because of Trump and his crazy followers. Their crazy behaviors made me understand the role of all religions. Religions and doctrines are kind of the same thing. They are just something that some people believe in while some others hate. Castro used one of the doctrines and portrayed himself as the Messiah of the country, as the chosen one to save Cuba. Sounds familiar? Yeah, all cold dictators do this, portraying themselves as the chosen ones and saviors, etc. But Castro wasn't always like that. He was born into a wealthy family. Like many rich young men, Castro used to be a playboy. He married two different women and had multiple children. Yes, he married twice, not three times. Anyway, Castro went to college, where he found his political dreams. And in 1959, he made his dreams come true. Most of his followers had no idea what he planned for Cuba, but they believed in him anyway. He was a hero in their eyes. Yeah, cold dictators are just this charming, and you might never be able to wake up their followers. My friends, do you remember Romania's Decree 770? Yeah, I talked about it in one of my previous videos. It was a law that banned birth control and abortion in almost all cases, except the cases of rape, incest, and threat to mother's health. Right, They also imposed tax on families that had fewer than 5 children. Sounds familiar? Yeah, J.D. Vance has said that childless people should pay higher tax and have fewer voting rights. You guessed it. Today we are gonna talk about Nicolae Ceausescu, the dictator who issued Decree 770 in 1966. He was the leader of Romania from 1965 until he was overthrown and killed in 1989. As you know, he was a dictator who also created a cult of personality. And if you recall, I talked about many cult dictators, and they are all alike, no matter which doctrine or religion they say they believe in. Dictators only care about themselves and their own families. If they pets, they will love their pets more than anyone else outside the family. Ceausescu had a dog. His dog had a private luxury villa equipped with bed, TV, and telephone. The dog was accompanied by a special limousine with an escort. His dog lived on imported meat, Chinese lamb or steak, while his people were starving. His dog was given drugs and vitamins that flown in from abroad while his people were struggling to get their health care needs. Moreover, shortly before the revolution, the dog was promoted to the rank of colonel. Yes, you heard me right. The dog became a colonel. See, dictators don't love their people. They just need their support. Like Trump said, he doesn't care about his followers. He just needs their votes. Also, dictators are cowards. They pretend to be strong, but in fact they are weak. They run away when they face dangerous situations. Clearly, Ceausescu was one of them. When he found that he was probably overthrown, he and his wife fled the capital, but were captured by the military after the armed forces deflated. Yes, they were shot dead in the winter of 1989. You see, dictators are cowards. They always tell their people that they will fight with them side by side, but in reality, they send their followers to fight for them. They, themselves, sit back and watch, and then flee. Okay, my friends, in case you don't know me yet, I'm Judy Fay London, a fan of Jack London. I'm a published writer who writes fiction and non-fiction novels and short stories. You're very welcome to visit my website, judyfaylondon.com or Amazon to read my poems and my short stories. The last one, Mr. Rat, Candy the dog, and so on, and my latest non-fiction book, Living with the Walking Dead, a roadmap for achieving your own success. I hope to see you there, and I thank you so much for your kind support, and thank you very much for subscribing to my YouTube channels, Judy Fay London and Judy Plus. Judy Fay London is a comprehensive channel, while Judy Plus is a channel that talks about interesting discoveries in the world of science. Thank you for watching. And my friends, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please hit the subscribe button. It's totally free. Thank you.